Hey guys, welcome to Backyard Beer Brothers. My name's Rory Doherty, and today I've actually got a bit of a weird beer, and I think that's saying a lot because the majority of the beers that I drink on this channel, I'd say, sort of fall into that weird category, but this one sort of is next level. But before introducing it, it would have been like a couple of weeks ago. I went to the South Melbourne market with my family. They've got a couple of bottle stores there, and one of them bought a few craft beers from in the past, so went there. They had a few that I picked up, but then there's another one that I've never really gone into. I've sort of only looked into from outside. I've got a lot of sort of European beers and so forth, but I saw a couple that I hadn't seen before, and I thought I would go and check them out. And one of them was this one here. So this is from a company called Red Rocks. I think they're located near Ballarat. So they don't actually brew beers. They've teamed up with a brewery in Ballarat called Red Duck. I've had a couple of their beers, but I reviewed a plum sour that they had. And I think it was sort of middle of the road. But it's this beer right here from Ocean Rocks, and it's called their Nori Lager. And if you can read it there, the reason why it sort of stood out to me is that this is a malt beer brewed with Abalone, Wakame, and Nori. So Abalone is obviously, or may not be obvious, is a type of shellfish, and Wakame is a type of seaweed. So I was thinking, Jesus, could be absolutely terrible. But wanted to give it a try. It piqued my interest, bam. Thought, why not? So let's just get into the glass, have a little look. So it's sort of pouring as you'd expect a lager to pour. So we've got that beautiful golden but very, very light on the colour. I don't really know what I was expecting with seaweed and abalone in it, but it is very, very light in that case. Sort of straw golden. It has like that's weird. It has like a sort of sparkling wine champagne smell to it. Yeah, it's almost leaning towards like a going into the sour goes sort of smell in that case. I'm hoping for good things. There's a very real possibility that this could be horrendous. But what does it say on the back? Let's have a look at that. Okay. Using our wild caught abalone from the clean, fresh oceans of Australia, we've teamed up with one of Australia's best and innovative small breweries to produce all natural beers. Ideal for fine dining, relaxing, healthy celebrations with family, and of course, special occasions. Ingredients: water, malt, rice, nori, wakame, hops, Greenlip abalone. And while I'm at it, it's 4.1%, comes in at 1.1 standard drinks, and it is a 330ml can. And when I looked up to see what the Untapped score, it had no reviews. So this could be the number one. But the head hasn't hung around. It's still very carbonated. Yeah, it's just... There's like a malty kind of smell, but it's definitely more sort of champagne, but without this sort of, I suppose, tang champagne has. It's a weird way of describing it. But we've had a look, had a smell, still intrigued. Let's get into it. Cheers. Cheers. Let's roll. Wow. There's like very little flavour going on. Initially, it actually tastes kind of like soda water. Like, that's so bad saying it. Hang on, let's have another go. Yeah, it is like high carbonation. It tastes like soda water, but with a slight bitterness. Like, this is... I'll say what I was thinking. In my head, I was like, it's actually not as yuck as I thought it could be, but it's also quite a letdown in another area. Like, it is... Hang on, one more. Okay. It is like super crisp. Super crisp. There is like a small amount of the sort of malts coming through, but it is like lacking in flavor. Like I feel like, I don't know, that's such a weird, yeah. Like it just, the flavor dissipates in the mouth so quickly that you're sort of grasping at straws, just trying to pick out some flavors here. There is not a lot going on with this at all. When I was sort of half thinking about reviewing this, and when I was holding it, it actually reminded me sort of years ago, I used to manage a couple of bars in Wellington, and one of them was sort of more of a cocktail lounge, the other one was a wine bar. But we had some like really amazing kind of top shelf spirits, and there was a vodka company in New Zealand. I'm pretty sure they're based in Nelson, the top of the South Island, called 26,000 Vodka. And they were like delicious. So they had their sort of straight vodka. They had a raspberry lemon drop, a lychee, and something else. But very early on, we got on board and ended up stocking them in our bar. We're actually one of the first bars in the North Island to stock this particular vodka, and because of that, they wanted to do like a event evening for other bar owners and bar managers around Wellington. So they organised to have a couple of their staff from the distillery come up. They were going to do like a little display and sort of show a lot of the cocktails that they had found were really popular down at the distillery, and sort of try to drum up some business, I suppose. So anyway, we had this evening and sort of shut the bar down to sort of patrons. Then we were all sitting on, obviously, the customer side of the bar. We had the people from 26,000, or that they had sent on the bar side, and they started making drinks. And they'd make sort of one or two of a drink, then they'd sort of pass it along. Everyone would have like a sip. Definitely thinking about it now, it's kind of gross, but you know, way pre-COVID, going back sort of 15 years-ish. But everyone would have a sip, and everyone would sort of be like, yeah, that's pretty good. They go, oh, you know, this is the, whatever it was, this is, you know, the summer haze or the summer afternoon, blah. They'd make it, it would come down the line, everyone would say, yeah, this is pretty good, pretty good. And then it came to one point, and they said, now this here is an out-of-the-box cocktail, but this is hugely popular in Nelson. And we're like, oh, yeah. And they said, we call it bloody moana. And moana means sea or ocean, lake, large body of water in Māori. And what it was, it's a Bloody Mary. So that usually entails tomato juice, celery salt, usually either some Tabasco, maybe Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper, and vodka. And how it gets the moana part, they made that, but they also muddle in sea urchins, or in New Zealand they're called kina. And the process of muddling, you may have seen it in a bar, you chuck sort of fruit into a cocktail shaker and use a big club to sort of mash it all together. That process is called muddling. So if you imagine, you chuck the sea urchin, the sort of flesh from the inside, or it's referred to as their tongue, you chuck those into this cocktail shaker, you grab this club, crush it all up, put all the ingredients together, give it a shake, put it into a cocktail glass. And I was sitting down the end, and I could see everyone's reaction as this cocktail went from person to person to person. And people, you could see, hated it, but they wanted to be polite. So people were like, oh, God. Yeah, no, that's interesting. Or they'd have a sip and be like, yeah, I think I know someone that would think this is actually quite nice. It got down to me, and I'm just looking at it, and it's just like this, like it looks horrendous. I sort of have a sniff, and you can smell kina or sea urchin has like they smell like the sea hardcore. And if you just crush them up with some tomatoes, imagine that all mixed together. So anyway, had a sip and had to spit it out. And I was just like, God, this is disgusting. And they were just like, oh yeah, some people, you either hate it or love it. And I was like, yeah, nah, I hate it. But afterwards, I had to hit them up. I was like, yo, was that a serious drink? Or like, are you guys just sort of fucking around here? Were you just messing with us, put some shit together and just tried to see if we would go along with it? And they're like, no. They are very popular down in our distillery because they also do oyster shots. So you'd have an oyster with vodka, a little bit of Tabasco as well, I think, or lemon. Regardless, when I was thinking of this, reading that it had abalone in it, I was like, oh my god. It sort of brought back flashbacks of that bloody Moana drink. Fuck, it was horrendous. And I suppose the little extra part to that story is 26,000 went out of business. Could it have been the bloody Moanas? It probably could. Nah, I don't know. But no, they had an awesome. Their raspberry and lemon drop vodka was just like so good. It was delicious. They had like a couple of other ones they were going to be bringing up, but they actually never got that far. I'm not actually sure how long they were around for. I've tried looking them up. 26,000 still comes up on bottle stores, but it's always out of stock. So it'll be hard pressed to try to come across those. But this beer, it's... There you go. It is like someone's tried to make a shandy, but instead of putting lemonade in, they've just put soda water. That's what it is. It's a soda water shandy, and it's not very good. So would I buy this again? No, I would not. On tap? No. What about as a gift? It's kind of... Nah, I wouldn't. They've got a couple of other ones. They've got a stout, which has black truffles and black lip abalone. So that could be interesting, but just... Nah, it's not the one. What would I give this out of 10? I'll probably give it a... Let's go 4. It's below average. I'm thinking I could go a 3. Let's go a 3. So, what does that mean? It means hats off to Ocean Rocks and Red Duck Brewing for officially brewing the lowest rated beer on Backyard Beer Brothers. It's pretty sick, but that just is a lackluster beer. Nah, avoid that. But with that, I think we've made it to the end of the episode. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to hit the like, hit the subscribe. And as always, I hope you have a good one. Cheers.